In part one, I shared some of the biggest retirement pitfalls, from Medicare missteps to 401k tax bombs, and how to avoid them. But in this video, I'm not sugarcoating anything. These aren't just mistakes. These are traps. And every single one of them are after one thing: your hard-earned retirement money. Traps that are built to benefit corporations, private equity firms, salespeople, just not you. Let's break down the fine print they don't want you to read and shine the light on how to avoid these enemies to your retirement future. Number one is the contract trap. These aren't just boring legal documents. They can wreck your retirement. You'll find them in 55 plus communities, HOAs, timeshares, prepaid funerals, RV dealerships. They're sold as promises, but usually the one that ends up with the benefits is the company, not you. Let me show you with some real-life examples how dangerous these contracts can be. First, we've got Martha Bray, an 84-year-old Vietnam vet. She paid over $300,000 to enter a senior living community in Illinois. Then a private equity firm bought the properties. Her rent jumped from $13.95 a month to over $6,500 a month. She spent over $100,000 just trying to get out of it. Then you have, in the UK, over 46,000 families prepaid their funerals with a company called Safe Hands. The company collapsed, their money all gone. In Phoenix, an HOA hit residents with a surprise $5 million assessment fee to repair and update the HVAC systems. This hit individual property owners with up to $15,000 that they had to come up with all at once, or risk losing their homes. But they got together, they sued, they won. Let's take RV dealerships as an example. They often pressure you to sign before any repairs are finished, just to lock in the deal. But after that, you're stuck with the problems. Now, there's a great YouTube channel out there called Liz Amazing. Check it out if you want to watch a lot of these new RV owners and their horror stories. Now let's talk about timeshares. Anyone I've ever talked to that's attended one of these timeshare pitches, they always say it's never worth the free Disney tickets or free restaurant meal. Because once they get you in there, they will prevent you from leaving at all costs until they make a deal. I don't know of any other product that is sold with such high pressure marketing than that. And timeshares are not an investment, even if that's what they call it. You're not buying a property. You're buying a contract that allows you to use that property a few times a year. And getting out of that contract requires you to find a willing buyer, which is very rare. People get locked into these timeshares and they end up having to will them to their heirs. This is not something you want to inherit, because now you're stuck with those exorbitant maintenance fees every year. So what can you do about all these contracts? Just saying avoid contracts, well, that's not realistic, because it seems like everything is kind of going in that direction. With 55 plus communities, I've heard stories of people that love them and think it was the greatest decision they ever made. But watch out if they sell that property to another firm, because your contract can then become null and void. Instead, if this interests you, check into renting a property in one of these communities. That keeps you from having to shell out those huge upfront costs and the maintenance costs that are associated with it. If you want an RV, consider buying used. Newer models are plagued with poor quality, extremely long service wait times. The wait times are so long that your warranty will expire and they haven't even gotten to you yet. If you're buying into an HOA, read the fine print and brace for any special assessments that could come along. Prepaid funerals, I don't know. I just don't recommend them. I mean, why not take that money and just devote it to a special savings account that's for your final expenses? I mean, what happens when that funeral home or company, when they fold? Or what if you decide to relocate to be closer to your kids or grandkids? Timeshares? Just plan your vacations freestyle. You like a particular area, then take the time to scour the internet for deals, and then you get to pick the week you want to go. You're not locked into a specific week. There's so many things in life that we're obligated to. Don't make vacation one of them. You'll resent the shackles after one or more visits at that timeshare, especially when those maintenance fees keep coming in. So when it comes to contracts, it's not a bad idea to get them reviewed by an attorney or an expert. And don't be pressured to sign a contract right away. That's one of their tactics. Go home and sleep on it first. Okay, number 2, the free financial advisor trap. Many retirees are enticed by complimentary financial planning, usually from their bank or an insurance company. These two companies are not where you want to invest your retirement nest egg with. They're almost always trying to get you to buy into products that have very high fees, and you have choices elsewhere. Be skeptical of free advice. If your bank or insurance company approaches you with financial guidance, approach it with caution. First decide, do you need a financial planner? If you're comfortable managing your Social Security, your nest egg, maybe a pension, if you're comfortable doing that on your own, then maybe you don't need one. But for estate planning or tax strategies, or if you're not confident in managing your retirement funds, consult with a fiduciary financial advisor that charges fees for their services. That way you ensure that their advice is in your best interest, not theirs. Now you can go to napfa.org and use their online search tool and find a fiduciary financial advisor in your area. Just ensure that every advisor that you use is truly a fiduciary. If they're not, walk away. Number 3 is I want to get into predatory financial products. There are financial products specifically targeted to retirees that are filled with confusing language and high fees. Let me give you a short list. Beware any products that contain the following names: annuities, reverse mortgage, variable universal life insurance, pension advance loans, possibly even long-term care insurance. Let's just talk briefly about annuities. An annuity is an insurance contract designed to grow your money and then pay it out to you as income. You could almost think of Social Security as a type of annuity, but purchasing a private annuity is not comparable to Social Security. Now, all annuities are not bad, like fixed or immediate annuities. They can make sense in some retirement plans. For example, in one of these types of annuities, you might purchase one for $200,000 at age 60. Then when you turn 80, they'll start paying you a predetermined amount each month for the rest of your life. But that's just one version. Watch out for equity indexed annuities, variable annuities. They often come with serious downsides, huge fees, sometimes as much as 3% of the balance. The surrender periods could lock you up with your money for 7 to 10 years, and you could face very costly surrender charges just to get out of it. So what should you do if you're interested in annuities? Well, first, do your homework online, and not from companies that are trying to sell them to you. I think 2 places that would be good to start would be Clark.com and maybe Investopedia. I'll put these links in the description box below. Then find a financial advisor like the one I described in the previous tip, a fiduciary fee-based advisor, one that's legally required to put your best interests first, and go from there. Now let's talk real briefly about reverse mortgages. The pitch is usually turn your home into income without selling it. And they're usually targeted to people who are house rich, cash poor, which can be a lot of people. But with everything, there can be 2 sides to each coin. The downsides to reverse mortgages could be they'll eat away at your home equity very quickly. You may have nothing left to leave to your heirs. They often include high fees and a very short window to change your mind. So if you find yourself house rich, cash poor, what should you do? You may feel as if you have no other options. And that's when a reverse mortgage may make sense as a last resort. But have you looked at everything? Could you sell and downsize and free up some of your living expenses that way? Could you sell your home to a family member and then rent it back from them? That way it keeps the home in the family. Could you do a HELOC, a home equity line of credit? That could free up some equity for you to live off of. And if you still have a mortgage, could you refinance? If the rates are better now than the rate you have on your mortgage, that could free up, a lot per month. And if none of these options still work for you, then consider again talking to a financial advisor about a reverse mortgage to make sure it's right in your situation. Now, number 4, let's talk about collectibles and coins and alternative investments. The pitch is usually protect your wealth with gold or fine art or rare collectibles, even crypto. The TV ads will always say, hurry, act now, supplies are limited. But the reality is 1, these products don't produce income. There's no dividends or interest that's going to come out of them. Number 2, determining the actual true value of collectibles can be difficult. And to try and sell or liquidate them takes time and may incur significant cost in order to do that. Number 3, dealers, they're going to want to cut. Sometimes they can charge up to 20 to 30% to help you liquidate that item. Profits from selling collectibles and gold are taxed at a higher rate. And sometimes these types of items, gold included, they can sometimes blur into more shady or even scammy areas that you have to be careful of. It's more of a Wild West environment. And finally, if we do have an Armageddon crisis event, how are you going to protect these items? How are you going to access your Bitcoin when the infrastructure has collapsed? And I don't think anybody's going to want your Monet painting. I'm just saying. Am I saying don't purchase gold or Rolex watches? No, I'm not saying that at all. If that's something you want to do, then appoint a certain percentage of your net worth to doing that. 5 to 10%. I wouldn't go any higher than that. And here are some additional tips. Be very wary of buying gold coins from TV commercials. Maybe consider investing in gold ETFs. They can provide you the exposure without having to store or protect the actual physical gold. Selling gold can be difficult, and you can lose, some of that value with just the fees, and market fluctuations. Now, if you're a collector, that's great. Just don't confuse a hobby with a retirement investment strategy. And number 5, I want to talk about senior scams and fraud. When we were kids, our parents, they kept all their money in a bank somewhere in town, an actual building with walls and an alarm security system. The only thing they had to worry about were bank robberies. And seriously, I don't think they worried about that. But fast forward to now, where our money has transformed from paper currency to just numbers on a screen. We trust that our money is out there, in the internet universe, a totally different scene than our parents or grandparents had. And with that, we lose those physical walls and that security alarm that was present at the bank down the road. A lot of the security now is on our shoulders. Some financial institutions today will just say, sorry, not our problem, if you get scammed out of your money and you didn't have all of their security protocols turned on, or if you were deceived into giving out your password. So what are my thoughts on this? Try to minimize the companies that you use to manage and store your money. One bank, one brokerage firm. That simplifies things tremendously. Change your passwords often. Make sure that you set up your email and your cell phone with every security layer that's available to you. Our phones and our email have become just as important as our bank accounts. Don't answer any calls or texts. You make the call to inquire, not the other way around. And never click on any links in emails. I want to do a video soon that just lists and names all of the common scams, frauds, phishing examples that are out there. Many scams, they succeed because they catch us off guard. But if I can help shed the light on some of them, then we take away that power they have over us. I also recently did a video where I talked solely about how to protect our money, and I'll link that at the end of this video as well. These traps, they range from straight out deceitful to sneaky and full of fake promises, but now you're wise to them. Maybe your experience with one of these 5 I covered today isn't like I described it all. Maybe you have a positive experience that you could share with us in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. But if you've been a victim or you're filled with regret over one of these examples, do not beat yourself up over it. You are not alone. There are shrewd salespeople out there, and your misplaced trust in them is a shame on them, not you. Retirement in the 2020s and beyond, it requires new knowledge, sturdier defenses, and educated decisions. Let's go into this chapter of our lives fully armored and help me get the word out so Gen Xers can make wise decisions. Please share this video and part 1 with those you care about. Here's the link to the video I mentioned earlier on how to protect your money. And I'm also going to link part 1 here as well in case you missed it. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.